Hi, Justin Deering here with a quick um, sort of a Craigslist haul thing, taps and dies. Basically, this was sort of a post-estate sale of on Craigslist. The guy's father was a mechanic whose shop closed up in the 70s, and he had a bunch of like taps and dies and other various drill bits and such that I bought. Had a cool conversation with him, and yeah, I'm gonna go through stuff now. So here's some small taps. Okay, so taps are how you. So if you have a hole, you can drill a hole with a drill bit in like metal or plastic, and then you use these things to cut threads. Basically, okay, the little grooves are flutes. These are the same thread pattern as like a screw. They start off narrow, but they get to the full width over here, and they come in there. And the point of the flute, it's for as you cut the threads to get rid of the chips. So these are some small ones over here. They're all marked. This is all SAE stuff. None of this is metric. Like I said, it's from a mechanic shop that closed down in the 70s, basically, and the guy continued to be a... Okay. Greenfield Screw Plate. Greenfield Tap and Die Corporation, Greenfield, Massachusetts, USA. This is like a really good... I don't think they're in business anymore. I'm pretty sure they're not going to be still making stuff in Greenfield, Massachusetts. But this is like, industrial, level. This is like good stuff. This is not... He didn't just buy this stuff at Ace, okay? So here we have some more taps, okay? Here we have a tap wrench, okay? So... as you can see, this has like basically like a four jaw collet chuck. So just to explain this, if you haven't seen this before, hold on, let me adjust my camera here. So, okay, this one's a little rusty. Tell you what, that one needs a little work. Okay, I'll explain this one. So here's another one. This one's mine. This is a DeWalt modern one. Basically, yeah, this is, as you can see, this is basically like a collet, just like a router has a collet where this spring compresses this. There are 4 slots over here, and this will bite around the 4 jaws of that. I should get a smaller one that'll actually fit in there. Okay. Basically, you close this on the 4 jaws. Okay. This is a... okay, I'm not going to bother to turn it down. And when you tap, you want to go and you want to use a lot of cutting oil. There's plenty of videos how to do this on YouTube. But you turn like a quarter turn and then back half a turn to break the chip. Turn, quarter turn, back half a turn. Okay. So... this one's a pretty cool set. So this is a die. This is for if you have a rod over here. So if you have an unthreaded rod, you can put this through. This one's smaller. It goes through the center. And that is how you you cut. You turn this. You thread this. Okay. Basically, so that's a cool thing. It'll do. And see, this over here is how you, so you put the die in, so you put these dies in here. These dies look like this. They're various, some dies are round, some are hexagonal. I'll get into more of that in the next set. This tells the diameter and the thread count on the dies over here. Okay, and to get the thread out, you go over here, right? So you've got these set screws in here to loosen them. And see, this is a pretty cool screwdriver. And most of them come with a cheap little screwdriver. This one's actually wood. It was really nice. Okay, I mean, this one is. And yeah, this is from the 70s, so obviously, like, normally set screws these days, you can still get them in flatheads, but they tend to yeah, have Allen wrench, put an Allen key in there, they're going to be hex. Okay, so we're going to go over here. That pops right out. Okay, these things seem to be a little greasy with whatever. I don't know what the grease is he used here. Why it's this very dark grease? Because tap oils, at least the kinds I've seen, have been clear. I'd never used the right thread cutting oil. I know there's really dark. The stuff you use to cut galvanized steel pipe is, if you're a plumber, is really nasty and smells really bad. He might have used bacon fat, and he might have just been in a really dirty shop, and he might have just never bothered, cleaning the oil off, which kind of preserves and reduce the amount of rust. Yeah, these are good taps and dies. These are made of high-speed steel, so which is basically So basically, with taps and dies, there's two kinds of steel you'd end up using: high carbon steel, which are the lower end ones, and high speed steel. And it's called high speed steel because when you use them for drills and stuff, you can drill at a higher speed and get and produce more heat. It basically a stronger bit that can withstand both heat and you can get it. Yes, it's stronger because of the alloy and it's more heat resistance, which is important in a drill, because then you can drill faster. That's the name, high speed steel. Now there are ways to thread under power, but to cut with a tap and die under power, but these are generally manual operations. So anyway, just to review there, so that you would just turn this to adjust this little thing to hold the thing you want to cut in here. These are just to take the entire plate off these two screws over here. So this is a pretty cool tap wrench. Unfortunately, these taps are really small, because I wish I could use these for my other die that I already own. It's a die wrench. I'm sorry, the tap wrench would be the other one. These are most taps. There are several different sizes of taps. The ones I own are 1 inch. Or previous one before this. This looks like it's so 1/16 over 3/4 of an inch. So 6/12. So 13. Yeah, this looks like it. I don't know if they're either would be really called a 3/4 inch. They probably called a 3/4 inch die, but according to my caliper, they're a 1/16 over that. There are 13th, 16th inch dies. So they're round, and like I said, these are round style dies. So this was kind of cool. Definitely. And these had some odd sizes. Like there's a number 1/4 inch by 40 threads per inch die in here, which seems like a really weird number, because basically the way 1/4 inch threads count, a normal screw has 20 threads per inch, a fine screw has 28, and I believe an ultra fine is 32. So I don't know why. That's a super fine amount of threads in there. So that's I'm not sure why that is. Maybe there's a super fine standard I'm unaware of. Okay, so here's I also got some more Greenfield various dies, and these come in sets of 3 for the same size, for making what's called blind holes over here. So I got several. That's one of the smaller ones. More like a medium-sized one that looks like it had some use. And this one was actually from another brand, Balance Action Winter. But let's go look at these, just because they're really big. I believe these were the 5/8 of an inch. Because I want to show you why you'd need these 3. Because these 3 are a set of the same size, and they're for producing blind holes. Okay, so I'm just going to pick the biggest one, literally because they're the easiest to read. Okay, let's see. Winter, 3/4 inch by 16 NF. So NF means fine. So yeah, NF or UNF would mean fine. So this is actually a thin. This is actually fine thread. This is actually a lot more thread than a standard default 3/4 inch bolt, which would be a UNC or an NC, which I don't know how many the thread count is for 3/4 inch. But this has, does this not say NFHS? Might have to get the other one out. This says the same thing. GH3. Okay, these don't say what I want them to say on them. That is unfortunate. So I'll just explain this way. So there are 3 types of taps. I forget what they're called. And as you can see, the difference here is, if you look in the tip, the way the noses come up, the way they end, basically, and basically you need these 3 because you need, this one is more graduated, as you can see. This one is less graduated, and this one just has, a very, taper, very steep taper that starting quickly goes out to the full thread length, starting at the right over here. Like these are pretty much full counts. This is for making blind holes, and what a blind hole is when you, so like, let's say you have like an engine block or whatever, and it's whatever, a foot deep, right? And you just want to make like a 1-inch hole, and you want to get threads all the way in the bottom. Well, you want to start with, you always want to start tapping with something very gradual, like this one, because the first thread will be very shallow, and then, it helps you get the hole straight, it helps you make the first cut, and then you could switch to one of these, basically once you get going, basically, that'll let you just, cut a little faster. And then, for the very bottom, you just want to like get as close to the bottom as possible. You want threads like pretty much all the way down, except toward the very end. And you'd use this one. I don't have the names of them, unfortunately. Let's see. But let's put this back over here. Okay. Anyway, you know what? I'll put those in the comments if I do that. Anyway, I don't know if I'm ever going to cut a 3/4 inch hole, but like I said, I had several sizes. Most of these are in more around like the 3/8 of an inch size that I have. I have a that I got from him. I just wanted to show you 3 different sizes over here. Here's the final thing. This is a hex set of tapping dies. Okay, now this is Lucky brand, and I'm pretty sure these are, so traditionally speaking, you would use a round die. So this is actually a round set, but things got changed around. Do I have a round die here? So yeah. So there's some round things over here, but this is mainly a hex set of dies, and the directions on there in that green label talk about using oil, cutting with oil, and cutting the threads. But normally hexagonal dies are what's called chasing dies. Basically, the edges are a little blunter. They're not made for cutting. You'd put this on a messed up bolt, basically, to add to fix the threads. And the reason mechanics would you don't have to be as precise when you have existing threads to clean up, and you can use a wrench. So these are all 1-inch hex dies. So you could use just a 1-inch socket if you were, and you can use a cutting thread to try to fix threads. The problem is you run the risk of cutting super malformed threads, but it'll help. It'll sometimes do what you need to get the job done. The real thing you really want is chasing threads. Oh, and by the way, yeah, where to buy taps and dies if you're gonna get them new. So if you want to get them, basically, if you want to get the same thing that Snap-on will sell you, at a fraction of the price, for cutting dies, Hansen, which is now owned by Irwin, you can buy at Lowe's. So you want Hansen tap and die sets, and Lang Tools, you can get chasing dies, which you can buy off of Amazon. They're made in America for thread repair. So cutting dies, you want a Hansen set, and Irwin. Okay. I'm sorry, Lang Tools for chasing dies, which you buy. Yeah, I would suggest buying Amazon, but obviously get them where you can get them cheaper. Amazon will sell them a lot cheaper than Lang will sell them on their own website. So those are pretty cool. But here's what I found really cool. And yeah, of course I didn't put it back. 1 second here. Okay, there we go. This is Yeah, this is the tap wrench for it. Like I said, these, if you're repairing threads, you can just use a socket wrench or a wrench or, combination, or a combination wrench or a adjustable wrench or whatever to turn that, and that's perfectly fine for adjusting. Or even if you just, if I have a bolt with like a high shoulder, like, okay, so actually so this is a flange. This is a serrated flange bolt because it has like the kind of washer kind of built in over here. But some bolts are what's called tap bolts, like this one. The threads go to the top, and some of them, they only go up so far. Maybe you need a little more. This part where it was untapped would be called the shoulder, right? Maybe you need to just cut a little. You already have like good like you have this is a metric bolt, so I don't know what it is, but let's just pretend this was SAE and say this is a 2-inch bolt, and the last half inch of it is threaded, but I need to make it a tap bolt to go all the way through. Well, I could use a tap to cut it through over there, and that would be a perfectly fine thing to do with a wrench. If you don't have a proper tap wrench, you can just buy a single die. Use a hex wrench. If you had a hex cutter like this, I would use a tap wrench since I happen to have it. Maybe the bolt is attached to a car or something, or I'm in limited space. So over here, it seems to be missing the. Now let me go loosen this up. This seems to be missing the piece that goes in here to adjust the little fins over here, which I might try to get rebuilt or whatever. But this is a 1-inch hex die wrench for hex dies. But the other cool thing, it has a little hole here to put a screw. It didn't come with the screw. The screw is a number 10 by 32, so which is a UNF screw over here, which you put in to secure a round die. And then, if I have that, most round dies will have at least one of these, sometimes more. Put that in there, and then I could secure. So this thing could support both round 1-inch dies and die. And this is cool because this is a much better tap wrench than I own. I mean, some of them actually have this weird ratcheting action, and it's specifically designed where you can ratchet them both ways. So it'll let you like ratchet half a turn. It'll let you turn half a turn backwards before it ratchets. It'll let you turn. I think it has some kind of torque limiter on it that lets you turn forward, and it lets you cut so far before the threads get too thick. But that's cool over there. Over here used to be another kind of tap wrench for holding big taps, and I got a bunch of taps here. Some of these taps are rusty, so I'll clean them up. I don't know if I'll clean them up or not. But yeah, I got all kinds of taps of different sizes. One thing I got that's pretty cool. This is a focus, please. NPT. So this is for pipe. So normal machine bolts have a the threads are cut at a 60-degree angle. But this is for like galvanized steel pipe or whatever. You go to go to Home Depot or the plumbing supply store, you get the metal pipes. Even copper pipes will sometimes do this as well, or brass connectors. They don't use the machine's thread. They use pipe threads, which are designed to bind into each other and to like not let the gas escape. This is just another die designed for cutting that. This probably has some use. Apparently, if you're gonna cut threads into galvanized steel, it's a really since it's a hard material, you gotta use it really, and the cutting thread you use are pretty nasty. But anyway, it's cool that I can do this. This is what this is NTP 27 thread per inch. I should read this. It says 1/8. 1/8. That makes no sense. Let's go get a calipers to figure this one out. That might make okay. It's a little over a 1/4 inch. It might be. Yeah. So the nominal threads of pipes are weird because of interior versus exterior diameter because you're measuring a tube. So anyway, just to show you, like, I've actually done something with this. This is actually with metric. Actually, I should do a video on how I did this. This is some aluminum tubing over here, and it's just completely normal on the inside. but using a tap, this is actually a metric tap I use. This was a 10 millimeter standard, so 10 millimeter by 1. The threads are measured differently on metric. It's a thread every 1.5 millimeters. And I cut threads on this side. This is a little hollow. This is a little wider than it should be. As you can see on this side, yeah, I can't fit the bolt in here, right? It doesn't fit. Well, it'll start to try to cut it one of those threads, and it'll get stuck here, right? But here's a 10 millimeter, which is a little bit bigger than a 3/8 inch bolt, screwed inside of this one, for the type, and that's for a little project I'm going to do, basically to make a little drill bit adapter, so I could use a scouring pad with my drill to clean my stainless steel pots when they get burnt rice on them from paella or various other rice-based dishes. There you go, over there. So anyway, yeah, that's how that works. And yeah, I just want to say, yeah, I also got a bunch of drill bits from him. Some things are cool. This is interesting. This is a drill bit for a like a hand bitten brace, as the Brits would call it. This is a really interesting little hole saw cutter. I don't know, it's like steel or whatever. I want to take this apart. It looks like I wonder if I can get like a blade like this, or maybe I can just. This is super dull, but I would love to like take this apart, clean this up, restore this. If I can find, yeah, maybe like you can just buy these straight and bend these around yourself. That'd just be kind of cool for a project. This looks like a standard like hole saw mandrel. Things are stuck. I actually have some hole saw mandrels. This one though is cool in the fact that it seems to have some teeth on it. So if I need to cut a hole this big, which how big is this? I should get some dial calipers or calipers, maybe some just brass vernier calipers or anything that can just be read. I have to look over. So this is an inch. This is 1 1/16 of an inch. According to this. Yeah, so there's like the that's first mark, so it's like about 1 1. I'm not going to read the vernier dial. It's a little more than 1 1/16. It looks like maybe the second one hit it a spot on. But anyway, yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool to have that, and two other things I found pretty cool in terms of bits that'll actually be useful. I mean, I got a bunch of random drill bits in there. None of them seem to be. I wonder if any of them are letter grade. I have to try to read them. You need the letter size drill bits for most of the taps to get the right pre-drill holes. Drill bits come in any. So for SAE drill bits, for Imperial drill for inches, they come in from 1 1/16 of an inch. They come in 64th, generally speaking, from 1/16 up. So 1/16, 5/64, blah blah blah, up. And however, the interior diameter, so the diameter that you'd want to drill out a hole before you put a tap in, is based on so this is a 10 millimeter bolt, but you'd want to drill this out to. But let's pretend it was a 3/8 inch bolt, right? Or yeah, so if it was a 3/8 inch bolt. The interior would happen to be 5/16 that you'd want to drill out to, but most things actually are some weird non-64th of an inch fraction of an inch, and you have basically these letter drill bits so for between each there's basically letters that represent decimal things from A to Z, and you need those for a lot of tapping. So those are things I would need in my collection. But these two are these look like, to me at least, they look like countersink bits. So if you ever drill, a screw. Actually, let's get a screw. All right. So, typical screw tends to be countersunk like this. And if you want to bury that straight into the ground, so into your wood or whatever. I mean, let's just say we're dealing with wood. Obviously, most of this is metalworking, but you want to, so you have a nice flat surface. So this is flat. You get what's called a countersink bit, So this seems to be more of a typical one. And you can buy actually nice countersink drill bits that actually have the drill bit that comes out, a regular drill bit that comes out, and then just the top will just countersink. But over here, you would drill the hole, and then you would drill this on top. You really wouldn't start a hole with this, and this leaves a nice conical hole over here. Same thing. This one looks to be just has more. I've never seen this style of countersink bit, but anyway, that's kind of cool over there. Anyway, so those are my new toys. Anyway, thanks for watching. Yeah, I'm gonna try to restore some of this stuff. Hopefully, maybe I'll do another video where I hopefully get this cleaned up, clean off some of the rust. Maybe restore this part over here. Have a great day. Thanks for watching.